welcome to our meeting here on Tuesday, May 3rd, a beautiful spring day. First order of business is to review the minutes from our last board meeting on, was it April 19th? Huh? Time flies. So is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Motion is seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Minutes are passed. On to resolution number 30634.
Yes, Commissioners, you have before you a memo related to Starlight Theater Association. The way our agreement, our main agreement between us and Starlight Theater Association is scheduled so that when they enter into a primary third-party agreement, such as concessions in this case, that it does require approval of the Park Board. You've got some terms that are highlighted under the agreement that would be part of that. Rich Baker's with us today, and of course, Rich negotiated this on behalf of Starlight Theater Association. Legends Music LLC is the name of the vendor. It's a new concessionaire for them. And since Rich is here, I'm going to ask Rich to maybe touch on a couple of the highlights and entertain any questions.
All right, very good.
First, thank you for having me here today. I want to go, I'm happy to go into the details here, but I also want to give you the why behind it, which I think is equally important. I think you've all been to Starlight before, and if you've been in the last couple of years at least, since I've been there, the shows are really good, but the food's really bad. And unfortunately, we were stuck into a 5-year contract. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It just is. And we were in a 5-year contract we couldn't get out of until the end of last season. So we looked long and hard. We did an RFP. We looked at 9 different companies, finally chose Legends. The reason we're coming to you, and I do apologize for getting here as late as we are since the season's on top of us, but it takes a while to negotiate everything and get everything done, and we did to our satisfaction. The big difference between this contract and the last contract was the type that a lot of not-for-profits do because they're risk avoidant, and that is it was a percentage of the gross model. So when you have a for-profit and you're tying them to a percentage of the gross that they're going to pay you no matter what they tend to do is raise prices, cut the quality, and cut the service, which is exactly the opposite of what we wanted to do. This contract is a managed contract. In other words, we as the not-for-profit have all the risk. We hired them to help us manage the operation because they have that expertise. But because of that, we're going to be able to not only lower prices, but improve the quality, and we control those prices and service levels. So I think it's going to be a major difference. And if you were there last year or the year before, you saw basically concession stands. We're doing several things that are going to make the food, I think, so much better. First, instead of one level buffet, we're going to have kind of the bargain buffet we had before, but also an upscale buffet if people want that, where they can sit at cloth tables and order wine by the bottle or the glass. The concession stands will no longer be concession stands. They're going to be renamed and rethemed. For example, we have a Taste of Italy, which is Italian food. We have a barbecue shack. We have a burger emporium. We have a sweet shop that's cookies and cakes. And we even have an ice cream parlor. So I think you're going to see all sorts of new opportunities out there that hopefully will make the food as good as the shows. And that's our goal here. As you can see, with that comes a major investment. Starlight's putting $325,000 in, Legends putting $425,000, and I'll tell you we're already bumping against that budget and are probably going to end up putting in more. But the major thing is it does allow us to set the pricings and the staffing levels so that we can ensure that everything's first quality. So we ask for your approval of this Legends contract so that we can go forward. Any questions?
Yeah, if
Sure.
the 2 levels of the buffet, when you're a season ticket holder,
Uh-huh.
can you buy one or level, or you have a choice when you buy? a
Yes,
season
you
ticket?
absolutely have a
Okay,
choice, and
good.
you can buy them in advance at a discount.
Great.
So one's called the Broadway buffet and the other's the off-Broadway buffet. So, it's really designed to give people a choice, and I think it's really going to be a added attraction to Starlight.
I think that's great, not one size fits all.
Right,
That
right, which is
accommodates
what was tried before. Everybody was shoehorned into one type of food, and, yeah.
that. Good.
So even with the investment, is it, I assume you're hoping that you're gonna have a better return than the product from last year? What are you what's the
Well, the other
estimate?
thing, and I will tell you, the beauty of it is that Starlight hasn't been destitute. So I warned the board right up front that at least at first, we may actually make less money.
Okay.
I wanted them to know that up front, but I think it's so important to give that experience. We're trying to remove all the barriers as to why people don't come to Starlight, and that was one of the major ones. It was always the number one complaint on our surveys. If we do our job right, we'll take that number one complaint and turn it into hopefully the top 1 or 2 reasons why people come to Starlight, and that's our goal. So we do think we'll make it up in volume. We hope that's the case. But what you are going to find is lower prices across the board and actually increased service and more points of sale. So because we also need to cut down those lines. Because in our business, you've got a 20-minute period, and right now people have to sometimes choose, do I go to the restroom or do I get something to drink? We're hoping to be able to have you do both.
Cool. How's the season looking?
Season's looking really good. We've had really good feedback. Subscriptions are down slightly, which we kind of expected because we had a broader variety of entertainment this year, but the single tickets are more than making up for that. So I think we're going to have a good year.
Cool.
It's always fun going out there.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay?
I think that's
We're
all
all
the
very
questions.
excited about it. So.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the resolution and the agreement?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Very good, resolution passes.
Thank you, Rich.
All right, next, presentation by Sandy Campusano.
Sandy, you're up. Rose Show and Rose Day.
Well, hi there, everyone. This is my annual visit, as you know, to, for several reasons. First of all, I brought Judy Pinner, our very capable Rosarian today, and I'm really here on behalf of the Rose Society to tell you that the garden is ready to bloom for Rose Day. We have, thanks to Judy and her staff, 455 new roses have been planted at a cost of $7,500, which the Rose Society was more than happy to fund. We have 30 volunteers lined up to help with the maintenance of the garden. So on June the 5th, which is Sunday, it will be the 85th anniversary of the Kansas City Rose Society. It was founded in 1931. I am not 85 years old, but it is. And this is your invitation to come. And here's what's going to happen. We will have at 3 o'clock, we will have the youth ballet and the Scottish pipe and drum. There'll be 4 of them, so it will be fantastic. We will have the Highland Dairy is supplying ice cream and drinks. And our special guest this year is someone that is remarkable. She is the president of the American Rose Society for all of this country. And she has agreed to come and be our special guest. She's judging our Rose Show, and she is being featured at the Nelson Atkins on the Friday night before. She's doing a lecture and talking about her book on sustainable rose gardens. But she will be our special guest. And we expect the Rose Show will have about 400 entries, as we did last year from Kansas City Gardens. We are also having a new category. If any of you are photographers, we have a new category called photography, and we will be awarding ribbons for that. We'll also have for the children our children's art program, where many schools throughout the Kansas City area are participating in this. And we would love for you to come. 3 o'clock is really probably the best time to appear. Also would like to ask for some help from the Parks Department in terms of public relations and website and any looking over here on my right. So I have some information for you, Heidi, but we would appreciate that, certainly. I also wanted to bring your attention to the fact that we have been advertising our Memory and Friendship Rose program in several publications throughout Kansas City, and last year we netted $4,000 in 1 month from this. So this continues so we can buy more roses for the garden. And finally, I did want to tell you that last week the Kansas City Rose Society was honored by support Kansas City. It's an organization that honors volunteerism, and it's excellence in nonprofit. And there were 3 categories, and the one is for the organization with a budget over $1 million. The other one is for a budget under $1 million, and one is no budget, and that's us. And we won. So we were thrilled. This is kind of the first time for us. We were honored for the Pillar and Pergola project, the restoration of the Rose Garden, and I thought that you should know that. I didn't see any publicity, but it was very exciting for us. So has everybody got June the 5th on your calendar? Yes. And we'll look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much again.
Thanks for all you do.
Fantastic. Well, since we're on the topic of Kansas City Rose Society, a resolution number 30635 regarding their wine and roses.
Yes, and Martha? Are you going to introduce Martha, Terrence?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it.
Mr. McKean kind of stole my thunder right there, but we have before you today a use and concession agreement for American Rose Society and the 6th annual Wine and Roses. And we have here for you today Miss Martha Comment. She'd like to say a few words, and she has some flyers to hand out.
Do I hand it out?
Yes.
Thank you for having me. It is a beautiful spring day, and we're selling roses again. I'm on the KCRS Rose Board, and I'm a groomer, too. I love to groom, and this year I am chairing the Wine and Roses event, which I think is such an elegant event in Kansas City. I just love it. I hope you all have been. So I want to tell you about it. It is September 22nd. We are hoping to get 150 people in the Rose Garden that evening. It's such a beautiful evening. Lon Lane is going to do the catering. Dan Miner is going to do the draperies and the flowers, and Mike White Quartet is going to do the music, and we hope to get a jazz singer as well. This is a night when we can showcase the Rose Garden. I was in Johnson County the other day talking about the Rose Garden. They said, "Where is that?" And I said, "You're kidding me." So I'm going to get that person up here to see our Rose Garden, because we're very fortunate. It is a world-renowned, national anyway, Rose Garden, and I think we're very fortunate in Kansas City to have it. Anything else you all want to know about Wine and Roses?
It's a great event.
Yeah, it's good.
Fantastic.
This is the 6th year of it. You hear it every year, so please come.
Very much. Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. We'll be there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Martha.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved. Oh,
Second.
Motion seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Resolution passes. Resolution number 30636.
Yes, Commissioners, another item that Terrence is handling today related to the Children's Literacy Festival.
Good afternoon again, Commissioners. We have a use and concession agreement pertaining to the Next Developmental League for Longview Tract Park for their first annual Children's Literacy Festival. And we have here today Mr. Terrence Vick and Ms. Tracy Chappell to speak more about the event.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
No.
Thank you guys so much for having us. I want to present to you our first annual Children's Literacy Festival, which will occur on May 14th of 2016. We are requesting your approval to have that at the Longview Track Field. We have an organization called Next Developmental League, which is a basketball organization. It's a year-round basketball organization, but we focus primarily on literacy. In order for the kids to be eligible for the program, they have to read at least 2 books per week because we want them to be able to read. And so this year, we're having a first annual several things. We're having a Super Midwest Regional Tournament. We're having close to 400 teams that are coming in from different states and locally. And so we thought, you know what, we're doing this, so why not have a literacy festival to go along with this? Because, you know, this is what we celebrate. We celebrate literacy for kids. And so we're having our first annual literacy festival. He's going to give out some cards. He's going to be my Vanna White. And part of the literacy festival, We're going to be giving away 2 free books to every kid that comes into those doors. We're going to have local children's authors that's going to be there. They'll be signing books, doing read-alouds. We'll have the Paul Mesner puppets that will be there. They're going to be doing 2 shows, so if you have kids or grandkids, please bring them. We'll have a drill team competition that will be there. Bounce houses, NFL Play 60, KC Wolf, Kansas City Fire Department will be there with their trucks for the kids to look at, ask questions. We're going to have over 50 volunteers that will be there. U.S. Bank will be there doing face paintings, giving out financial literature. Park University will be there to help us give out books. We'll have vocational schools there for the high school students who want a different option other than your traditional type colleges. What else is there? Pony rides. Food vendors. I should have called that guy, the first guy who had all the specialty from Starlight,
Yeah,
so
right.
stop him and say, hey, we need that. But we'll have food vendors there. I'm trying to think what else. It's so much that's running through my head. The Kansas City Zoo, the mobile unit will be there. So it's just a family fun-filled day that will be there. But more importantly, it's for kids to get books because we want them to read. Okay?
Great.
That's
Well, it
awesome.
sounds like an amazing event, and we wish you nothing but success, and thank you for partnering with us to do it at one of our parks. So,
Thank you. All right.
any questions or comments? All right, is there a motion to accept the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Good luck to your event. Resolution number 30637.
Yes, Commissioners, you recall, we entered into an agreement with Harvey and Ann to pretty much take over the Garment Museum back last year, and that's how this memo starts out. And this is the agreement then with DST, who holds the space at the Garment District where the museum would continue to operate. And if you have any questions, Anna Marie is here to answer those.
Are there any questions regarding this motion?
Is it for a certain length of time?
Well, and I think we have it for 3 years, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion is seconded to accept, all right. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Resolution passes. Resolution number 30638.
Yes, Commissioner, this is with a company called GNR LLC to manage concessions at the 9th and Van Brunt Soccer Complex. Memo in your packet from Roosevelt that outlines the terms and conditions, and if you have any questions, Roosevelt is here.
Any questions of Roosevelt? Roosevelt, do you want to say anything, or? Please, sir. You looked anxious. You were at the edge of your seat, and I wanted to get a chance.
This is our second year with Gilberto and his wife Raquel. I just got to say they're great partners for us. They work really hard. We never have any problems out of them. They provide a great service. Actually, this last weekend was April 30th, and they helped us with an event. They came to us. It's called Children's Day.
Yeah.
Big day in
A lot of
Mexico.
people out there.
Had a lot of young kids out there. They got food donated. Didn't ask for anything. They didn't ask for anything for themselves. They donated food. They got other vendors that donate food. So it's been a great contract. It's been great working with them. Last year they made a little under $4,000. They brought us a little over $4,000 dollars in revenue. So that was great that's all new revenue, money we hadn't seen before. And speaking of revenue, I just got Katie Cyrus is in the audience here, who's our athletics director, and this is kind of completing her first year as an athletics director. And we threw her in the fire. She's done a great job. I believe this year we've actually made a little over $200,000 right now in revenue compared to last year, which was around 131. So definitely increased, around a 70% increase. It's a hard job. You got to please a lot of people. You got to manage a lot of contracts. There's a lot of field space out there, and we don't always have the staff to do it. But she does the best she can, and it's been a good year so far. So looking forward to keep going.
Well, that's great news. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Both of
Yeah,
them.
for sure.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well done. Yeah. Thank you, Roosevelt.
Any increased revenue is good to hear.
Yes.
Thank you.
exactly.
Very good. Is there a motion to accept the resolution?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Why don't we look to take the next three all as one, if that's okay with everybody? It's basically.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. Alice Hannon is here to address those. As you can see, they're all contracts with Safety Tree Service. in the three different regions.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Well, back on April 6th, we had a bid opening to get a new contract for our tree maintenance services for across the city. This year was a little different than previous years in that we separated it out into 3 different regions to try and see if we could get more interest from the tree service contractors in the area, as well as, hopefully getting some better prices. When it all came down to it, one contractor actually had the best price for all 3 regions. As you can see, Safety Tree Service, they were the lowest and best bidders. We did have some non-responsive bids, even though we had some really good interest. But non-responsiveness ranged from folks just didn't read the instructions. And they failed to either sign their bid forms or they didn't provide the bid bonds. There's not much you can do about that. They don't read it, you can't help them out. But, so anyways, we do recommend that Safety Tree be given all 3 contracts.
So did it end up being a better price than if they had all gone together?
Safety Tree did have one bid that was a little bit higher, and I believe it was for the Central Region, yes. And that's just more because of their locations. But they did have the best price on all of them. Our current contractor, Custom Tree, they were a little bit considerably higher on their bid.
What was it last year? Was it $1 million? Do we know? Customs? I'm just curious if it worked, if it worked
If you
or not.
approach it, yeah, exactly, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, 3 and 4, so it's
Yeah.
million.
So did we save any money?
Right,
from
so if it
last
was
year?
1.2 last year, then
Yeah.
we did.
Well, as far as, of course, last year was part of another 3-year
Oh,
contract period, so
Probably a little lower.
it just really depends on how many requests we get in terms of saving money and, emergency call-outs and those type of things, where you're running on overtime and such.
Okay. All right, is there any other questions or comments or anything like that? Is there a motion to accept resolution number 30639, 30640, 30641?
So moved.
All right, the motion, is there a
Second.
second? All right, motion second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you. Resolution number 30642.
Yes, Commissioners, talked about this a little bit when Anna Marie was presenting in the pre-board about a time extension with International Architects Atelier. And the memo that you have in your packet lays that out, and if you have any questions, I'm sure we can get them answered.
So this just extends it to the end of the year.
End of the year, calendar year.
Yes, just time extension only to continue design master planning.
All right.
So moved.
All right, motion. Motion seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, very good, that was easy enough. Thank you. On to the director's report.
Right, okay, Richard Allen, you're up.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Today, we want to highlight some work that was done at Camp Lake of the Woods. Camp Lake of the Woods is kind of a hidden gem in Swope Park. It offers the mounted patrol a place to store their horses, the new Go Apes facility. We have mountain bike riding in this section of the park. We have the lodge, which is used for rental and events. And then also it hosts the area of doing youth camps during the summer. And so over the years, the road has kind of showed some signs of deterioration. And so the road, you access it off Oldham Road. So this map that we handed out, this represents Oldham Road. The section in the blue, green, and yellow have all been overlaid. As you turn to this is a picture of the new sign for the new facility of Treetop Adventure. This picture right here at the bottom of the page represents at the top of the hill. as you're up by the Mounted Patrol and in the Treetop Adventure area. This picture right here represents right off Oldham Road as you're going up the hill. The one on the bottom represents the exit area of Camp Lake of the Woods. And then as we proceed, this picture represents the new parking lot that was constructed for the Go Apes and then also for the Mounted Patrol area. And then the picture down below represents the road as you're going by the lodge. It's a very scenic area.
Yeah.
And then as you move to the last page, it shows some security fence that we did for the Mounted Patrol area. And so all this work has been completed, and I will note that on the section on the map that has the yellow highlighted, we will be doing some stone wall repair in the future, as that area has a lot of runoff coming off that road, so that's a future project. If there's any questions.
Looks great.
Yeah.
I was on it a couple weeks ago. You went up?
Yes,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
encourage everyone to try Go Ape at least once.
Yes, sir.
If I can do it, anybody can.
Heidi?
Hello. Hi. Well, we have just gotten off the busiest April that I've known. I've been around for in the last 9 years. We've had a bunch of dedications, groundbreakings, and ribbon cuttings, particularly in the last week, 2 weeks. Last week, we had the Central Park Payak Field Improvements check presentation, which was rained out, of course, but it was held in the gym, so it was a giant pep rally. It worked out well to be able to have it at Central Academy.
Especially with those drums.
Oh, it was great to have the drum line inside. Yeah, it was very loud, but very festive.
A lot of good high school kids.
Right, and City presented them with a $400,000 check for improvements, of which they will provide, I think, $800,000 to go ahead and do soccer fields and football field across the street there in Central Park. On the next day, we had the Waldo Water Tower lighting in Tower Park, where we turned the tower blue. And we had a really good turnout from the neighborhood. I was super excited to see it. We had Dennis Leonard from the Royals there, who, together with the kids, actually, pushed the button and turned the tower blue. And then the following day, we had the groundbreaking for the Independence and Benton project improvements. And again, a really good turnout for that. It was a nice event. It was not rained out, which was good because we had a lot of rain last week. On that Saturday, we planted a tree in Luce Park for Arbor Day. And then the revolving green around the blue bike ride and cleanup on Indian Trail was canceled because it had rained so heavily. It's actually rescheduled for September the 17th. And fortunately, the sun came out, and it was a beautiful day for your Children's Day. And the Tom Watson Golf Academy opening at the Heart of America Golf Course in Swope Park. That's a big mouthful. Lots of kids there representing the first tee. Of course, Tom Watson was there. He gave a clinic to the children, and it was a really nice event. And then Mark went on to the Carnes Playground opening in Roanoke Park, where there were over 300 people in attendance.
That thing's amazing.
It is amazing. That is a super cool playground. So we've had a lot of media attention as well, and particularly some interest in our playgrounds. The fact that we've done these kind of unique playgrounds with Roanoke, and then the Hillside Slide opening up in Kessler Park here. Next on the 14th, they're going to do a special event that afternoon to officially open the slide. So this week, we have the start of the Penn Valley Plein Air Art Fest. It begins on Wednesday night with a reception, and then artists will be in Penn Valley Park painting outside for 3 days. So Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday morning. Then there's the reception that evening at the Buttonwood Gallery. Saturday, of course, is the Kentucky Derby party at the Kansas City Museum, which I believe is sold out. If not sold out, there's very few tickets left, so that's been a huge success. And then also Dig Day, which is something we tried to do last year in partnership with the Boy Scouts, and it got rained out. So I'm sounding redundant here, but I don't think it's going to this year. So we will be working to plant 80 flower beds in 35 locations around the city with the Boy Scouts beginning on Saturday morning. So on Sunday, there's the Mother's Day event that we do kind of in partnership with Stone Lion Puppets at the Nelson Atkins Museum. And then next week, our first official Feast of Fountains event, our pop-up food truck event begins, and that will be on Thursday, May the 12th from 5:30 to 7:30, and we're going to go back to Tice Park for that one, and then continue on from there every month. So, a lot of excitement about those.
That was quite popular at Fountain Day, too.
Yes.
It really was.
People love those food trucks. Well, it's good food, and it's unique food, and so it's kind of a fun, festive atmosphere. We will have entertainment, musical entertainment, Max Groove. Yeah, some name recognition. He's going to be playing at this first one. Then we'll have someone different at every one. So, hope to see you there.
Cool.
Fantastic stuff.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, nothing on the public hearing. Let's just do a brief calendar review. And we need to
Yeah, just kind of touching base on May here. I think most of everything that's on here, Heidi's touched on. A couple meetings with our partners up in Platte County on Wednesday the 11th. Starlight Board meeting on the 19th. Employees Awards Breakfast, the morning of the 25th. And then next board meeting is on the 17th. And no board meeting on the 31st, Carmen, is that what we're looking at?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. So that gets us into the month of June then, so, okay. Great, thank you.
Great.
Cool. I'd like to make a motion that we go into closed session to discuss real estate issues pursuant to revised statute, section 610.021.
Very good.
Thank you.
Second to the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Second, Commissioner Heidi, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Judy?
Aye.
Commissioner Chodan, aye. Commissioner Mecklenburg?
Aye.
Commissioner Gilligan?
Aye.
Very good, we are now in closed session.